for that, I'm sorry for both of you.
I just don't feel, Your Honor, that's very fair, being I'm her mom, and I'm paying $340.
Fucking Kayla Jean Smucker.
Mom.
You should sit down and shut up. You're in a court proceeding. It's live. It's being broadcast to people, and I don't need your editorial. This is Judge Middleton. We are live on Zoom, on YouTube, and we are recording. This is a continuation of the matter of Lori Ann Wallers versus Kayla Jean Schmucker. Both parties are here by Zoom. Also present is Meg Bauer from Western Michigan Legal Services. We were here on October 9th, and Lori Wallers was here, and Meg Bauer was here, and Ms. Schmucker was here. This was filed as a termination of tenancy matter. Ms. Wallers is renting the house to Ms. Schmucker and her family, and Ms. Schmucker is building a house and waiting to get out and get into her house. So this was filed as a demand for non-payment of rent, and there was a representation that Ms. Wallers was filed as a termination of tenancy, that Ms. Wallers was actually collecting rent. In the letter dated October 11th from Ms. Schmucker, have you received a copy of that, Ms. Wallers?
No.
She should have sent it to you, but I'll read it. My fiance and I are currently renting a home at 131 East Hatch. While building our new home, we have a verbal agreement that allows us to continue renting until our home is finished. Well, a verbal agreement is not a lease. We believe our landlord is trying to evict us illegally. She has continued to collect rent payments after servicing the notice to quit. We perceive this as a continued lease. The landlord has not allowed us to peacefully occupy the residency since the notice to quit. She's tried to shut off our electric, water, and internet in home in order to force us to leave. If that's true, that violates the lockout law. We understand this is not our home. We do intend to move as soon as we are able to. We do not want to be here any longer than need to be, but our home must be finished first. I have attached our payment history via Apple Pay from August 1st, our most recent payment on October 1st. These additional documents are text messages exchanged between the landlord and I, and the harassment. So I put maybe everybody, I don't remember if it was just Ms. Schmucker and legal aid or everyone was in the breakout room. But as I indicated, Ms. Wallers, when you file a notice for termination of tenancy, there's a case called Park Forest, which says you can't accept rent in a termination of tenancy, or it is a premise that you intend to continue the lease. Ms. Schmucker, does that pretty much set out your position in this?
Yes.
Ms. Wallers, what's your response?
So the verbal agreement was not till her house was done. Well, it kind of was, but she said her house was going to be done in she said 9 months. She wasn't supposed to be there this long. And she's only paid up till September because she told me that she lives somewhere and then pays rent. So the rent was due on the 1st. So she's actually been a month behind the whole time.
Ms. Bauer, you have any thoughts on this?
I think the acceptance of the rent subsequent to the delivery of the notice to quit creates the impression of a continued relationship. And yeah, I'm not sure I follow the 1 month. There'd have to be a whole payment history review on the facts of that or not. But at the end of the day, I think intent of in accepting the rent, I think it was done wrong, Judge.
I think so too. The notice to quit was filed June 28th. The complaint to recover possession of the property was filed August 11th, and the plaintiff has continued to collect rent after those dates. Miss Wallers,
Neither of us. Yep. Yes, sir, Your Honor.
you're in a difficult spot. I read your earlier letter about why you want to get back into this house. And this thing is flawed from the beginning. You have no lease. You have an agreement that she was going to be there for a couple of months. Now it's 9 months. You want your house back. She doesn't want to move because her house isn't done. And she has a colorable lease. You were golden until you accepted any money. Now, I haven't made a finding regarding the lockout law. You can't shut off her power, her utilities, her water, her cable TV. That violates.
I didn't do that, Your Honor.
Well, all right, I didn't make a finding that you did, but you accepted rent. Had you not accepted the rent, I would have given her 10 days from today to move out. But you undermined your whole case. So,
neither one of us knew that.
well, if you'd got some legal advice, well, like I said, the whole thing is flawed. You've got friends that are no longer friends doing this on a handshake. It doesn't comply with the Landlord-Tenant Relationship Act. You don't have a lease. Ms. Schmucker, you don't have a lease. So you have a verbal agreement, which is worth about a -2 cents. So she's going to have to start over again and file it as a termination of tenancy and not accept any money. Once they move out, you can sue her for money. But if she had done it right, you would have had 10 days from now to move.
Oh my
When
God.
when is your house going to be done?
We're aiming for end of November.
Hey, Gene Smucker.
But
Oh my God. He's not even gonna give her 10 days to move out?
Miss Wallers,
Yeah, Your Honor.
who's with you?
Her mother. My mom.
You should sit down and shut up. You're in a court proceeding. It's live. It's being broadcast to people, and I don't need your editorial comment because your daughter doesn't understand the Landlord-Tenant Relationship Act or the law. So if you say anything else, I'm going to have a contempt hearing. So, Ms. Wallers, you didn't know, and you're doing the best you can, but I can't just pluck something out of the air. As a practical matter, she may be out by the end of November, but I doubt it because nothing ever is done when they expect it to be done. So you may have to start over again. You can't have it both ways. You can't ask her to move and then collect rent from her.
Oh my
If you filed it
I know
as a
that now.
demand, yes, if you filed it as a demand for non-payment of rent, you could accept the rent. You live in Sturgis. Now, you can certainly do this yourself, but there are a number of attorneys in Sturgis, Mr. Bush, Mr. Thornton, Mr. Reed, Mr. George, who do landlord-tenant law, who could help you with this for not a lot of money. But Ms. Schmucker, you should plan to be out of there. You don't have a lease, and you're staying there as a source of great irritation to her. However, to your credit, you've continued to pay the rent. So I'll leave it, Ms. Wallers. If you wish to continue to accept the rent and hope she moves by the end of November, you can do that. But if you wish to terminate her tenancy, you can't accept any money. So the matter is dismissed without prejudice. I'll do an order.
Wow. Fucking Kayla Jean Smucker.
Ma'am, Miss Wallers,
Yes,
can you hear
Your
me?
Honor. Yeah,
I'm going to file a petition for your mother to come in here into court and show cause why she should not be found in contempt for cursing in my courtroom and expressing her displeasure at my ruling, which happens to comply with the law. Ma'am, can you hear
I
me?
apologize. I thought you guys were done. I'm sorry.
We're not done, and you and I are not done either.
I thought they closed it out.
You're gonna come to the courthouse, and you and I are gonna have a little face-to-face discussion. And, you may be found in contempt with a potential jail sentence or other sanction. So, you don't have to like it. You're in a court proceeding. If you were here in the courtroom, hopefully you wouldn't act like that. But this is a
I
privilege.
did apologize, Judge. I thought you guys closed out the case. I'm sorry.
We did not. And I said if you said something else, so you and I are gonna have a little visit. I will send you a notice.
okay.
All right. Ms. Schmucker,
Yes.
you should make every effort to vacate this premises. Ms. Wallers, your options are to continue to accept the rent and hope that she moves. Or file an action to terminate the tenancy. In this case. But you undid your own case. So for that, I'm sorry for both of you.
I just don't feel, Your Honor, that's very fair, being that I'm her mom, and I'm paying $344 of that house payment, and she pays $250, and he pays $250.
Well, I didn't
I
say
just
it
feel
was fair.
Yeah, I know,
if it
it's
was-
not fair.
If it was fair, she'd move out and let you have
She
your
has
house
a
back.
dad. She has a dad that has an apartment in his basement that she could go to. She just don't want to.
All right.
Get a tissue.